Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to a brand new video. We're going to break down the NFL crazy Monday trades that happened. I am joined by the host of the Herman Raj podcast, the greatest Ragsdale in the history of
Whoa,
Ragsdales.
too much.
Just celebrated his birthday. He's 21 years old. Herb, how are you doing, man? How has your week been? And how was your birthday, dude?
Birthday was good. We celebrated it last Saturday on the show, so that was good because for my actual birthday, they sent me to Memphis for work. But it was all good. It's been a good week, and I appreciate all the love everyone has shown me. So, good times.
Absolutely,
Good.
man. As you know, I texted you, of course. Had to make sure to send you the happy birthday as soon as I got up. Of course, I knew you was up early, so it was a little bit easier to send that text knowing you were on the road.
Yep. I was already up by that point, so I didn't get back to a lot of people too. That was a bad thing on my part because I was driving when most of them came in. So,
Dude, hey, life happens, man. Life happens. Let's get into this stuff, though. So, Myles Garrett, dude, I was driving down the road. I had to pull over and park to record the video. It took me a minute to focus to record because I was like, what the hell just happened? Myles Garrett was, if you remember back in March, they restructured his contract, pushing his salary bonus or whatever it was to September instead of in March. Make it cheaper for the Browns. The Browns said, we're not trading him. That's not what that means, although 95% of the time, that's exactly what that means.
right.
And then, boom, he gets traded, and Jared Verse is part of the trade. And the only reason the trade happened is because the Rams agreed to send Jared Verse. As Andrew Berry has said, as Les Snead has said, like everybody has said, this would not have happened if Jared Verse had not been part of the deal. That's how much the Browns coveted and wanted him. I'm just going to ask you one question, dude. Does this mean Aaron Donald's coming back? Because I want him to come back just because that defense would be crazy.
I don't know about the Aaron Donald part. I know all the speculation, and if you are Aaron Donald, running it back right now isn't the worst thing. You know, you're clearly all in if you're the Rams, and you're probably tearing like Aaron Donald. You've done everything right. We can put you on a pitch count. We can just have you healthy for the playoffs. Like you can control this entire year however you want to control it. So it wouldn't be the worst thing if he did. But even if he doesn't, the Rams are stacking it up anyway, so they're going to be fine.
Dude, I know you're not a betting man, but the line when Myles Garrett was traded, 10 minutes later, all the betting lines had plus 200 odds for the Rams to win the Super Bowl. They're now like minus 500 favorites. That's how big of a swing that was when he got traded. And I'll be honest, I think long term, the Browns won this trade, though. Because what is everybody talking about next year and next year's draft? What's going to be the story going into next year's draft? Quarterback. You have Arch Manning. You have Julian Sayin out of Ohio State. You have Lenore Sellers out of South Carolina. You have all these talented quarterbacks. Brendan Sorsby probably will end up going on the supplemental draft, but we'll see what happens with his situation at Texas Tech. That hasn't come out yet. They're still deciding on that court case. I kind of wish it had, so we could talk about it, but it hadn't. But the Browns now have 2 first-round picks to package together to potentially move up in the draft because they're not going to be able to get a quarterback in the bottom half of the draft, and I don't know that they're going to lose enough games to be a top 3 or 4 pick.
Right.
So.
And if the Rams are as good as we expect, their first round pick is going to be
the 32nd pick.
Second round pick at that point. So
yeah.
It's. I still think the Browns did well though. I think getting Verse was key, and your timeline, which is no timeline for the Browns because you don't know if you're rebuilding or you don't know what you're doing. You don't really have a plan. When they first signed Garrett, I thought that was. I'm like, I understand you want to keep this guy, but you're not doing anything with him. Now, Verse fits your timeline a little bit better, and you're not paying him, it's on a rookie contract. So much better, and getting the draft picks like this, to me, was a win. It's a win if you think that the Browns are going to do right with this draft capital, but giving the benefit of the doubt, they did well with this. And like you said, having 2 picks, even if they're later, you always can make a move up if you think you're quarterback. And this also does kind of give you one more year to figure out the guys that you have on this roster. Do you think they are the guy? I think the general consensus is neither one of them is the guy or any of the 3, but you do get a year to figure it out. So it works both ways.
And look, best case scenario for the Browns is you now have these 2 first-round picks. Let's say Shedeur wins the quarterback battle against Deshaun, which I don't think he will just because of the money owed to Deshaun. But let's say he does. And let's say he goes up there and he has a real year and in a full year in the system and does really well, and you find your potential franchise quarterback in Shedeur Sanders, a 5th-round pick that you took a flyer on anyway, and then you can use those two first-round picks to potentially get a Ryan Williams, a Jeremiah Smith, a Cam Coleman, one of those elite wide receivers, and then in the back end of the draft, you can go grab a tackle or a guard to beef up your offensive line, or draft another edge to opposite Jared Verse on the defense. So, but again, with the Browns, you have to hit on this pick.
Yeah.
You cannot, if you're taking a quarterback, you got to hit. If you're good with your quarterback room and you believe in Shedeur, which I think Monken does, and he proves it this year, you've got to hit on a receiver and you've got to hit on a defensive player or a tackle or a guard. You've got to get that offensive line figured out. Otherwise, Shedeur's going to get killed back there, and it won't matter who the quarterback is.
Right.
But I like this trade. First of all, I hate this trade as a fan of Sam Darnold that was really happy to see him win a Super Bowl. I'm like, damn. Seattle could have probably made this trade if they didn't have paid JSN all that money. And like, where are the LA teams just print money?
Yeah.
Think about it.
Well, I also think though this is the Rams. This is the Rams' strategy though to do this, and you don't. The Rams are still 1 win away from the Super Bowl last year, right? Great spot, right? And a lot of people think they would have still been favored in the Super Bowl had they made it. But for the Rams, with missing the Super Bowl, I think you're a little bit more motivated versus Seattle, who's like, all right, we just won it. Let's see what we can keep together from our team and then, fill in some pieces. The Rams are thinking, look, we don't know how much longer we have Stafford, right? We have made nothing. Let's be honest, as an Alabama fan, it hurts. They've only made one move lately that isn't win now, and that was drafting Ty Simpson. Everything else, shoring up the cornerback position with trades and free agent signings, right? And then this trade, everything else says, Stafford, can you get us through at least one more year? We want to win a Super Bowl. And we'll worry about the rest later, which has worked out for them. So kudos to them.
Yeah. And there's a thing. So since Les Snead has become the GM in 2017, they've only made a first-round pick 3 times. They made the Jared Goff pick, which they traded away. They made the Jared Verse pick, who's now a Brown, and Ty Simpson. That's it. All their other picks have been allocated to get superstar players in there to build that roster. You think about Trent McDuffie, this is what the Rams did in 2021 when the Super Bowl was in LA a few years ago. They went all in. They went and got OBJ. They went and got Von Miller. They went and got Stafford. They went and got an elite defense to help Aaron Donald. Like they went all in. Now they're looking at it. They're like, you know what? Most of our defense is on rookie contracts or vet men contracts anyway, other than like McDuffie. They grabbed Jalen Watson from the Chiefs as well in free agency. So they're like, let's go get a dude who had 23 sacks last year on a 5-win football team, was trailing for most of the year. Let's go get a closer in the fourth quarter that can destroy a quarterback. That's exactly what Aaron Donald used to do. That Super Bowl, when they won it in 2021, Stafford made the throw to win it. Aaron Donald made the sack to win it. He put the pressure on Joe Burrow and forced that ball out. Otherwise, I think the Bengals could have won that Super Bowl if it wasn't for Aaron Donald. I really do. That's how good that offense was.
Mm-hmm.
I do think this is what the Packers do, except the Rams do it better. The Packers plan for the future, but they're never going to the win now. They are now with Micah. Like, hey, we're going to pay Micah. We're going to get Micah. We're going to try to bolster this defense. It didn't work out last year because of the injury.
Right.
And it looks like he'll be out for the first month and a half of the season, which is typical with ACL and MCL injuries to miss about 9 months. But this is what the Packers did. They had an aging veteran quarterback in Aaron Rodgers, so they knew the clock was short on. Go ahead and draft his replacement, but let him know, hey, it's still your team. They just didn't do what the Rams have done, where the Rams went, okay, we traded our first-round pick for Trent McDuffie. We signed a really good corner in free agency. We bolstered our pass defense. We're going to draft a quarterback in the first round. Tell Stafford we're doing it. Pay him for 2 years. Give him a 2-year extension. And go grab the best defensive player in the league off of a crappy team and bring him in. And I don't think they're done. I think Aaron Donald is coming back, but I'll tell you when I think he's coming back. I think Aaron Donald will play for league minimum because he's made his money. I think he plays for vet minimum. I think he doesn't sign until late November, and you get him ramped up for the playoffs come January. And he's there for the – I don't think he's – he's 35, and he probably could do a 17-game season and the playoffs and be fine because he's that freakish of an athlete. But I think you give him the time to ramp up, wait till November, then sign him. And all the teams that thought, oh, they just have Myles Garrett, like the Seahawks, the 49ers, all those teams that thought, oh, they just have one pass rusher, then you get Aaron Donald on your team, and it's like, oh, God, what do we do? Because also you have Brandon Fisk and Byron Young on the other side. That's a really good defensive line as it is with Kobe Turner. You imagine subbing out Fisk or Turner for Aaron Donald, and you have Verse and Garrett on the opposite ends of him. Like, dude, it's over for the league if Donald comes back. I'm telling you, that defense is going to be – and he's still 35 years old. He's only been out for 2 years. And I don't know if you follow him or if you've seen him lately, but he's still in, like, freak athlete position.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, he's perfectly fine. I do want to say Jared Verse has handled this very well. Being traded, he admitted he was upset, which I like the fact. He was like, yeah, I was upset. I was living in L.A. I thought I was going to be a cornerstone piece for the Rams, and now I'm traded to the Browns. Like, I was blindsided, but I get it. It's a business, and they're doing what they think is best for the business of the Rams. Now, to be fair, the Rams have said they did not want to get rid of Jared Verse, but they offered multiple picks. They did whatever they could. The Browns wouldn't come off Verse. I do wonder, you now have Mason Graham on that defensive line in Cleveland with Verse. Schlesinger's the linebacker in the back. I just wonder, can that Browns defense be not as good as they were last year? Because they were good last year, but they had Myles Garrett. Can they be collectively more of a unit than just a one-man wrecking crew now that Garrett's out of the building and all the guys won't, and there won't be anybody getting double-teamed or triple-teamed or whatever?
I think, honestly, for the Browns, yes, you can be a good unit, but they need to fix the other side of the ball, to me. They need to be a consistent – we talk about it all the time. We talk about it as Alabama fans, especially the last couple of years. When your offense is inconsistent, it doesn't matter sometimes how strong your defense is because they're always on the field. So I think Verse is – I do feel for him. He is a great young cornerstone piece for sure, and I think he will fit in with the Browns at this stage. But for the Browns, you have to solve the other side. Because Garrett was still getting his numbers no matter what happened. You know, double teams, being the only one, setting the stat rate, whatever. So I think Verse will be fine. He probably won't get as much attention early, and that'll be great for him. But the Browns got to fix the offense. They have to solve the number one position and then fill in, it's like you said in there, you got to solve that quarterback and then fill in with who is your number one wide receiver and go from there. Fix that first. The offensive line hasn't been terrible for the Browns at times, especially when they had a heavier rushing attack. It's just they have no identity, and that's the Browns with this trade could nail every pick except the quarterback one, and nobody would be surprised. You could be looking at a team that has great skill positions, great defense, and have terrible quarterback stuff. So, no, I'd fix offense first if I'm the Browns.
That's why I said if you're the Browns, best case scenario is Shedeur shows you that he is a real NFL franchise quarterback. Because then you don't have to worry about the quarterback spot for at least another 2 or 3 years.
Right.
I don't know that Shedeur wants to re-sign with them and stay in Cleveland. He'll probably want to go somewhere else. If he's proven to be a really good starter that can go to a team that needs a quarterback or maybe needs a veteran backup to take care of a young guy. But I'm not high on Shedeur. I wasn't high on him last year coming out. I'm still not that high on him based on what I saw this year. I'm more high on Gabriel than I am Shedeur. But it looks like Dylan Gabriel may not even be on the team come the season. I mean, Jared Verse showed up and they gave him the number 8. Mm-hmm. While Gabriel was still in the number 8 jersey on offense. And that's only in college that you can have one guy on defense and one guy on offense with the same number. So it feels like Dylan is out. It feels like they're going to go.
I don't feel like he ever really got a fair shake as a number 3 pick.
Well, no, they didn't because he got the concussion.
I mean, that's a 3rd pick, not a.
They got the concussion.
Yeah, but he shouldn't have been out there in the first place. He should have been entering the season as the number 3 quarterback. And your number 1 quarterback was never going to finish the year for you. I don't care what anybody says. Nobody thought Flacco was going to get the whole season with the Browns. You got him no number 2. Dylan Gabriel shouldn't have been the number 2 quarterback. He should have been the number 3. And you should not have drafted a quarterback behind him that would get way more fanfare and way more attention. And they just kind of screwed up the whole. And I'm not even picking between the two. I'm just saying the position they put Gabriel in was terrible. Never going to succeed at that.
Honestly, if I was the Browns, I would have been like, you know what? We're going to start Kenny Pickett. We're going to keep him. I wouldn't have traded him to the Raiders. I would have kept him. I'd have put Flacco as the veteran backup. And then I would have put Shedeur and Dylan on the practice squad. Let them dress for games, but keep them on practice squad.
Yeah.
That way, you don't have to risk putting them out there. I mean, his first start was in London against the Vikings defense. I mean, he didn't have a chance. That Vikings defense last year was so good. He didn't have a chance against them. Like, come on. And then everybody wants to say, see, Shedeur won his first start, but Shedeur's first start was in Vegas against a hapless Raiders team that was fighting for the number 1 overall pick. It wasn't the same team. The Vikings thought they were a playoff team. So I hate it for Dylan.
No, I agree. Although I would have gone Flacco, Pickett, and only drafted one of them. And so that's why I say I'm not picking between the two. You can take whichever one, but that's what I feel like the Browns should have done. So
right,
especially if you thought Watson might also come back, which is also crazy. But whatever.
Well, let's get into the next trade that happened. That it wasn't a surprise, but it did happen. A.J. Brown traded to the Patriots. I wasn't surprised it happened. I was surprised at how cheap the deal was. I thought Philly would ask for a first for AJ, and they got a 3rd and a 5th?
A 1st and a 5th, but the 1st isn't until 2028.
Okay. I feel like it was a bit cheap for AJ, production-wise. Now, in the locker room, whatever he is, I don't know. Right. I'm not there, obviously. It looks like him and Jalen were not going to be able to get along. Devontae Smith will now step into that number 1 role. Mekhi Lemon, it looks like he hurt his hamstring. but when he comes back, he'll be in that number 2 role. And they have a great offensive line, great running back. Like, Philly will be fine. For the Patriots, though, what does this mean for Drake May in year 3? Having a guy like A.J. Brown who can win one-on-one and beat man coverage, because that's something that the Patriots offense and specifically their wide receivers struggled with last year was they couldn't beat one-on-one coverage.
Yeah. I mean, some they thought they were getting with Diggs, or like when Diggs went to Buffalo. I think for the Patriots, you're all of a sudden, hey, we just got a new coach and our quarterback's in year 2 and we're already in the Super Bowl. So while our quarterback is still cheap, we've got to see if we can make a move to get back there, So I get it. It is interesting because like Waddle just got traded and he got more compensation than A.J. Brown. But this is one of those kind of lessons where everybody sees these disgruntled stars that let people know that they're unhappy just drive their value down. And I get it. You think it helps accelerate your move out. But all it does is really kind of the team you're trying to get out from is like, all right, we know you're worth more, but we can't get more because everybody knows you're trying to get out here anyway. So I always think that that's a bad situation. And like, should A.J. Brown care what the Eagles got for him? No, he just wanted out. I get it. He's in a good situation being a clear number 1 on a team that's going to pass, probably more than the Eagles. I get all that. And Patriots' path to get back to the Super Bowl is probably not terrible. I guess it depends on what you think. Do the Chiefs, get back up? Do the Ravens bounce back? What's going on with the Bills? There's just a lot of question marks in the AFC. So it's good for them. And if you're New England, like I said, you're taking a shot. Can we get back while we don't have to pay Drake May, $50 million a year? Because that's, I don't know. Is Drake May gonna be at $60 million by the time he gets by the time it's time for him to sign? Big deal. So you gotta do it while you can.
Yeah, because he's got really 3 more years before they have to extend him. Because he's got 2 more years on the rookie deal plus the 5th-year option. Because he was a first-round pick, so
right.
Essentially,
but if you wait until the end of those 3 more years, it's going to be $70 million. So if I'm the Patriots, I probably do that deal the first day I could do it before, because how the NFL money market is. What did the last guy get? Yeah. I want more than him. So
he'll be eligible for the extension this year, actually, after this year, because of his 3rd year. So he'll be extension eligible. I think they pay him as soon as they can. I really do.
For sure.
He's proven that he's a good leader and he knows what he's doing. But, again, we knew this was coming. I wasn't surprised at all about A.J. Brown being traded. I'm glad it's over, so I don't have to hear about it anymore from
so are they, apparently.
Eagles fans. So, but, Herb, I want to thank you for hopping on. I know it's been a busy week. The greatest Rags deal of all time. Sorry, Raj. Maybe I'll bump Raj up one day, but right now you're the greatest Rags deal of all time. Let the people know what you guys got going on this week. Is there a Saturday show? Is there a Wednesday show? What we got?
Saturday is 8:30. Raj is hosting. So even as right now, I don't know what we're doing Saturday night. He's got the reins on that one. And then we'll be back to the summer series this next Wednesday. Oklahoma might be up next. They're one of the next 2 weeks, so we'll figure it out, and then we'll keep it going. So appreciate you having me as always, Nick. It's always a lot of fun talking NFL with you.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Obviously, thank you for hopping on. I know it's been a busy week for you.
Yes, sir.
I know you just want to get home and relax and enjoy your day, your evening. But I wanted to make this video. I wish we had the Brandon Sorsby news so we could talk about that. But we don't. Hopefully that comes out at the end of the week, and I'll make a video on that. Other than that, you guys can follow me on Patreon at Nick Beasley Sports, where all my articles are. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and go to elephant-ink.store for all official Nick Beasley Show merch. You guys can also find Herb and Raj merch on that store.
Yes.
And give Ray McDuffie a follow on Twitter. One of the best in the game, if not the best in the game, when it comes to merch. So, love y'all. Thank y'all. and see ya.